what when you say belief, it's like we're if we know it's there and we search for it, we'll find it, because you can't search for something you don't believe in. That's a very interesting pairing of three that you've put together.
Actually, there's someone who when I was speaking with, they told me this really unique sentence. They said that you cannot discover new oceans and lands unless you have the courage and the bravery to lose sight of the shore.
Wow.
And that it stuck with me for years and years, and I felt that we have to take the first step as a whole, as a humanity, to go on to the greater future.
Well, are there any experiences that you feel free to share that solidify your perspective? I mean, I so appreciate you saying this is my perspective. I'm not trying to step on any toes, not trying to develop a dogmatism or a following or a doctrinaire on this. I mean, so that's the way I translate you, saying I'm not trying to say anything but my own experience. But what are your experiences that have formed these impressions inside of you?
These experiences, even I cannot put a word on them. I feel that these are glimpses of truth, cracks in time that everybody at some point experienced. I feel that these visions and the dreams when I was younger opened my mind and directed me into a different path in my life, into a better person. I feel people realize these little glimpses, these little cracks, these little details that they remember in their visions or dreams. I think they're telling us as a humanity something. I think they're telling us information. And as a child, when I was so eager to learn, so eager to know things, I grabbed that information and decided to build on it. And that's where the art and the poetry decided to come naturally. And that's where I decided to express those informations that I received through the arts. And that's who I am today. And I'm in a way a journalist, artistic journalist who learns and who sees and who experiences things and paints them so others could learn or share or just appreciate.
Wow, that is beautiful. Akiane, we're going to go away. We don't have to pay attention to any of the 60 seconds or 90 second things. So, thank goodness, if you have some more time, I'd love to ask more questions, but it's up to you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm here. I'm here for a few more minutes. So just shoot away the questions.
So when you say, let's go on the dark side of this for just a second. When you hope that a person will shift into a different awareness, a different consciousness, a different appreciation of all these dimensions that your paintings give voice to and message to as a journalist of the arts, and you see someone come to your artwork and going, oh, well, that's nice, and then they walk away. I know how I would feel if they did that to your artwork, but how do you feel when they do that? I mean, I can't imagine anybody not loving your work, but what does it feel like when they don't get the deeper myriads of messages from it?
I was lots of times traumatized by many people just sharing their honest opinions, and as 11 and a 13 and 7-year-old girl, I feel it was hard for me. It was extremely challenging to hear someone share their honest opinions. But nowadays I feel that I kind of ignore them and it's kind of concentrate on the better good side of things. But I actually realized that maybe it wasn't my art that didn't help them. I think it's somebody else that needed to be a enlightenment to them. I feel that it's okay that it didn't have an effect on those people. I feel that somebody else could have the chance as well. It's not the end of the world. I feel that everybody will be able to help each other at some time, at some point. And if it's not that point, that time, it's a matter of time that it will change. I've grown through a lot of people saying, oh, I don't like your paintings, burn your paintings, that's devil's work, and they just, the list goes on and on and on. But to hear those opinions, I feel they might have left out on the reality. I feel they don't understand, and it's okay not to understand. I feel maybe they're just confused, and maybe they just didn't find the right answer yet, and they're searching for the answer, and there comes the harsh words, and I just kind of ignore them, and it'll just take time. Time will tell, and time will heal.
Oh, you're patient. Patient and so gracious of you.
I've learned a lot, but I'm still learning, but it all comes down with patience, I suppose.
I would wonder to what degree you ever have portrayed in any of your artwork the darkness of humanity that's embedded in jealousy and insecurity and greed and like a murderous competition, a condescending, cruel judgmentalness. And then been able to take that yuck energy and then show how it's transformed through shedding those snake skins and opening your eyes to the multifaceted way the universe wants to talk to us. Is there any artwork that's actually done that in your mind?
It always starts out with maybe an idea of that, but somehow it ends up a beautiful idea for some reason. I feel like it always starts out like a little bit of a really, stressed ball and that negative idea, but somehow along the line, time over time, I start painting some positive information, and it kind of makes sense. But there's actually a painting. It's called First Steps of Eternity. It's where there's a earthly self and a heavenly self. And when I was searching for a model, this is when I was about 5 years ago, when I was searching for a model, I came across this young lady, which she had beautiful features, beautiful body, and she was the right person that I wanted to pick. As I didn't know nothing about her. I'd only known her name. And after she modeled for me, I just decided to put her in this pose where she's covering her head, and her heavenly self is pouring this liquid hope on her head, as if it's like a parallel universe. Wow. And as I was painting the earthly self, you could see the trauma, the very just this loss of hope in her expression, in her figure, that she was crying. In the painting, you would see that. And as I asked the lady, the model, to ask her opinion, she started crying because I've known her to be such a happy person, but she'd never cried. And she said that she went in the most traumatizing time in her life, where she had an extremely traumatizing divorce, and she went through a lot of pain and suffering. And as she saw herself in the painting, she felt that I somehow predicted her future. And actually 3 months later, she found the most amazing person in her life, and she's still with him today, and she's she says heaven is on earth, and as in the painting, she has a heavenly self pouring this hope on her very tearful self, and those little nuances, those little glimpses of that suffering are